let's talk about some of the different modes that the Crossvent has. So when you're in constant flow, you really only have CMV and CPAP. So if you're going to use infant nasal CPAP, you want to be in constant flow and choose CPAP. In which case, we'll just assume that I have this going to some nasal prongs instead of this test lung. But you would adjust your PEEP level. Now it says CPAP to get the PEEP that you want. Now, another application that people will use is the RAM cannula. So if you use the RAM cannula, and what I'll do is just occlude one of these just to simulate. The difference between the RAM cannula and any other CPAP device is all the others require you to have a seal around the nose, and the RAM cannula you actually don't. So you would still choose constant flow CPAP, and you would adjust your PEEP level accordingly. Now, a lot of times you may need more flow, but in this case, I'm actually able to get 10 liters without actually dialing up my flow. But the other way people will use this RAM cannula is we call it, where I pick up ours, nasal IMV, where we'll actually dial in a rate. So we're going to be in CMV. I'm going to say set a rate of 40. What's happening is I'm not getting any pressure because I don't have enough flow. So in this case, maybe I wanted 20 centimeters of flow. Well, because I have this leak, I have to turn up the flow. So again, you get up to 20 liters flow. 15 liters flow, sorry. I had to increase my flow in order to get the peak pressure level to where I want it. And then you dial your PEEP accordingly. So just be aware that when you use the RAM cannula, because you're dealing with such a big leak, you're probably going to have to increase your flow rate. When you're in flow trigger, now you have assist control SIMV is available. So if you notice, pressure support is here. It allows you to set this before you actually switch to that mode. That's why it's available. If I'm in assist control, every breath is going to get the same pressure. If I switch to SIMV, now I have 10 of pressure support, and let's just say PEEP is 5. Getting to say around 20. 20 centimeters of pressure. So that means what I'm going to have is one of three things that are showing up here. Control at a rate of 35 here. When I switch to SIMV, you notice how rate becomes SIMV rate. And you're going to see either control or you're going to see spontaneous or assist. Now, the easiest way to look at these is if you look at the volumes, you can see that there's a difference between 17.4 versus 10. That's the difference between delivering 10 centimeters of pressure support above your PEEP, so 15, versus the 20. You can look at it right there in the volumes. One other thing to note, that cowl that came up, what that is we used to only be able to go down and read as low as about 5 mLs for tidal volumes. And that's because we had a purge that went down the flow sensor line every single breath. And because that, it was just a small purge flow, but because that flow was happening right when we're trying to read this volume, we weren't able to differentiate really low volumes. So what we decided to do is is just have that purge happen about every 30 seconds. So when you see that cal, like right there, that's when we're sending that purge flow down the flow sensor line to try to keep this clear. And so you just won't get that volume readout that one breath. That's what's happening there. So that allowed us to actually read very accurately down to 2 mLs. For more products and information, please visit our website at www.biomeddevices.com.